Right, what's up, traders? Happy Monday. It's been the inauguration day, but I've got my good friend here, Zach. We want to speak about a couple of things market-wise. But before we get into it, let's do some housekeeping stuff. This stream is sponsored by Edgeful. We're going to go over a couple of the reports, what I like using, what Zach likes using, and see what we're thinking or for the next week or so. Obviously, Trump coming into power, so Bitcoin's been pumping. We've obviously had that Trump coin that's been going a little bit crazy. Yeah, we got a few things to speak about. So what's up, Zach? If you can, maybe just introduce yourself to the guys, and then we can get right into it.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? Name is Zach, obviously part of the ASFX family. I stream on ASFX TV. And James is a good homie, and I'm just down to have a chat. Let's talk about some Edgeful, some trading,
Yeah, so Zach does stream on not Power Hour anymore, but 1 p.m. Killzone Hour on ASFX TV. If you guys want to watch Zach stream live, myself stream live, I stream at the open every single day. Well, mostly Wednesdays through Fridays, but every single day at the open. And then Zach does stream Tuesdays and Thursdays. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Okay, so Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Austin's got him streaming Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at the Killzone. So 1 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, cool, Zach. Let's maybe get into it. Maybe speak about a little bit of some of your favorite Edgeful statistics. What are you actually seeing? So first, let's get into it. Give me two Edgeful statistics that you like to use. One or two that you like to use for the viewers.
Yeah, I mean, number one for me is always the Initial Balance Breakout report site. Yeah. It's one of the most powerful reports for me. It really transforms the way that I trade, just learning how to use the initial balance in the correct manner and understanding the statistical data behind why you should anticipate it to only break one side most of the day. I mean, I could go like deep into, there's so many ways that you can use the stats from the initial balance in your everyday trading. I mean, it's really.
I mean, they've got it by standard. So basically, this is the initial balance breakout with Edgeful. And basically, what this is after the first hour of trading, 9:30 to 10:30 Eastern time, the market will set the high and low, and essentially how, in theory, in basic understanding, how you would use this report is if it breaks the low, there's actually only a 20% chance that it will come back and break the other side. So in that case, the high. Or if we break the high, there's only a 20% chance that it will come back down and break the low. But there's a lot of, you can see, you get it by weekday, you get it by performance, by close, by rejection, breakout, and level. So there's quite a bit to it. Maybe if you can just walk through a little bit, kind of like how you would, your favorite type of play of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I can even get into a chart if you want. I don't have anything pulled up, but let's get into the charts. Let me just clean some of this up. You're in a bit of a messy house right here. Let me clear some of this up. But there's so many ways that I use it, but because this is the thing, like it doesn't necessarily mean if we break one side of the initial balance, let's say we break it to the upside, that we just, okay, now I'm just going long on the break of that IB. Like that's not how I use it at all. Let me just, I'm sure we could find a really clean example even today. And I know that today's only a half trading day, so it's a bit different, but if you see here, our 5-minute time frame, we broke the IB low. I know that Edgeful has stats for just if price breaks it at all, but something that gives me a bit of an extra confirmation is if we get a 5-minute candle closure above or below the IB. So that's really important for me. That gives me even more confluence, but these are your levels, right? So the high, first off, we should explain what it is. It is the first hour of trading in the New York session. So that's 9:30 a.m. So at market open to 10:30 a.m. In that first hour, if you see right here, we have this little highlighted rectangular box. That's our initial balance. This is the high, and this is the low of the IB. So what we're anticipating is for a break on one side, either the upside or downside. And then most of the time, 90% of the time, I'm trying to trade in the direction of that break only, because we have statistical data that roughly 75 to 80% of the time, even for the last 5 years, we're only breaking one side of the initial balance. So that does not mean that I'm just going to buy or I'm going to sell the market as soon as we're breaking below. My favorite way to play it is to see that break, then try and map out a relevant level on the chart, wait for a retracement, and then when we retrace to that relevant level, that's when I'm looking for the continuation move. So I didn't trade much today. I did not trade this, but this is a perfect example where we break the IB low, we slowly get ourselves back up, and this is the midpoint right here. So this is the 50% of the overall initial balance. That's always a key level for me. I like to see how we react at the 50% retracement of that initial balance. And if you see, we wick onto it and then we sell off, making a new low. So offering a really good short opportunity. That's my favorite way to play it. So wait for retracement after the break. Map out a key
and then
level.
look for continuations, essentially. I think if you can maybe go to Friday's price action.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Friday's price action. Let's go over there, because I think we both were actually long on the Nasdaq. I had some longs on my personal account on the Nasdaq. I was already long on. This is the nice thing about having different accounts, is that like you can choose which accounts you want to take certain trades on. So I took some trades on my funded accounts as well as personal accounts and some challenge accounts, and then there was Nasdaq longs as well. And I was like, let me add this to.
I have executions. I could literally go over this right now if you want.
Yeah. Okay. So you actually had the shorts first. So explain to me why you liked the shorts at first.
So I was liking the shorts simply because we were really overextended on the higher time frames. We were at a relevant 4-hour level that I'm not remembering what level it was, but I did think that we could come down and just maybe fill some of this imbalance here. So I was looking for the shorts, and this is where, even though we didn't get a break of the IB yet, it could still help you knowing these stats. So I took a break even and a loss on these shorts, right? So this was the loss, this was the break even. We don't need to go too deep into it, but once the initial balance had been set right here, this is another really cool way to play this statistic. Is if you know that we're likely to only break one side and you start to have a long bias, which in this case, once we started not being able to break below, I started flipping back long to want to just stick with the trend. I can get a cheap long near the lows of the initial balance, just anticipating that chances are we're only going to break one side of this range today. So if I'm sticking to a long bias, I can position myself at the lows of the initial balance, have a clear invalidation, clear stop loss, and just try and use the data that way. So there's so many different ways to play it.
Sure. Okay. And okay, so if I just pull up my screen over here, let's go to this over here. If I pull up my screen and we go to the report section, so this is obviously the initial balance, which we've been over. My favorite one that I like to use is that previous day's range report. Just obviously we can see on Friday, if we just go to, let's go to some of the currency pairs, but we go to Friday, we actually took out the highs here. Before the open actually, and then I got that extension to the high side here, simply because we took out the previous day's highs, which is this white dotted line. So kind of like a simple report, but actually very, very effective. Particularly, I think if you are actually for me, I would say I trade very differently to Zach, which is great because there's so many different ways to trade. I'm a very much I've actually slowed down my trading a lot in terms of I actually enter mostly on the 15-minute time frame now. It's I'm not really looking at much lower than that. Simply because my average hold time is actually about 6 hours, dude. I'm not really trading
even on Nasdaq.
Even on Nasdaq, dude. Even on Nasdaq.
Damn.
So because I did an experiment actually towards the end of last year where I traded that Hydro account and my personal account on the 15-minute time frame while I did some scalping on the indexes, and I found I way outperform myself trading on the on a higher time frame, call it the 15 minutes compared to the 5-1. And I found it just actually slowed things down for me, and I can actually watch a little bit more. For right now, I'm actually looking at some GJ longs off this level over here. We're actually starting to turn over here. I might look to actually take something like this before I go to bed tonight. Before the Asian session, something like this, with the stop at the low, which is that's a 200 pip stop loss. But then I'll be targeting back towards those these highs. First area target will be around here, right? But I just found it slows things down for me, Zach. I don't know if it's something I'll continue doing, but right now I got to go with what's working.
Sure. So would that be more of a swing position then? Do you find yourself holding positions overnight more often then? I'd imagine.
Yes, I have found myself holding more positions overnight when looking at this 100%, because sometimes I'll be in a trade. I think it was the other day actually on Euro JPY. I was on my personal account. Actually, it was I think it was the 9th. Yes, it was the 9th it was this night over here. I remember because I have to sleep obviously because the changeover of days literally at 12 p.m. my time, 12 midnight. So I was in a short here from this level over here. I was in that short like this, and I liked it for some continuation to the downside. So I was in like this, I had my stop over here. So it was like a 60-point stop, 60-point or whatever you want. And actually, I ended up waking up in the middle of the night, and I think it had stopped me out in profit over here, and then I got the rest out over here. But it was quite nice. But you see, when I went to bed, I was actually in drawdown. I was like, the trade's still valid. It hasn't taken me out yet, So obviously, I would have held that trade for literally like until about, I would have held it for, let's do date and time. I would have held it for, 17 hours, dude.
Yeah. See, with Forex, you can do that a little bit better. For me, with the indexes, it's just I hate holding it overnight because the Asian session could just be, and this is obviously if you're trading the CFD, because I do also trade CFD, it's not just futures, but holding NASDAQ overnight, man, it's just like it can just get so choppy that even if I'm still going to be correct on the overall direction, I can get stopped out in Asian session, wick out my, and it's just like not worth it for me. But with Forex, I think it makes sense because Forex really moves like all throughout the day. There's not set times where the most volatility is happening, in my opinion.
There's not. That's why I think I would say it is probably better to kind of swing trade currencies. I mean, maybe day trade indexes. 100% agree with you on that. Actually, someone asked me this the other day and said, James, would I have better opportunities maybe at swing trading currencies? I said, yeah, from my experience, actually, yes, because sometimes on my currency pairs, even like I'll be in a trade and then it would actually turn into kind of like a swing position where I'll hold it for a couple of days. Just something interesting actually to bring up. One of the guys, the owner of Black Bull Markets, which is quite a big CFD brokerage firm, he actually said, let me bring it up. Let me bring it up for you actually on stream here. So this is Anish. He owns, or I don't know if he owns, but he's definitely big involved in Black Bull. I think he's one of the MDs. He must be. But in fact, look what he said here. He said, the most profitable traders are always discretionary swing traders. That's what he said. And he said, this data is based on this data. This is a database statement from a pool of 250,000 traders. So, like, people are saying total nonsense and everything like that, and you see stuff like that. But he's just giving you. There's always going to be people that don't agree, dude. But he's like, this is not coming from what he thinks. It's for what did this person actually say? It's quite interesting. Quite interesting. Total nonsense.
No, I wouldn't be surprised by that, man. I think the cool thing about swinging is that you can really build into a position slowly. You don't need to be using these like crazy stop losses that you do have, especially if you're trading futures, which are a very leveraged market. It's just a totally different thing. And a lot of people cannot think fast enough on a 1 minute time frame perspective. It's not for most people. Where swing trading, you can really build into a position, have an overall general idea that you're looking to see happen. And you have a lot more leeway in that. So that wouldn't surprise me at all.
I would say you also, you did some swing trading as well, Zach, like on some of, as mentioned, on some of you've dabbled in some of that as well, like different styles. What do you think of different styles in trading? Why do you think it's good to experiment different ways? I'll say my reason first is like, I think everyone comes into like, I'm going to be a scalper, I'm going to be a day trader, whatever it is. And it's like, maybe that style doesn't suit you. You're actually better off at making more slower decisions. I don't know.
No, I agree. I think, so this is kind of how I think about it. If someone's getting into trading and trying to find a style, I do think you should try everything. I do think there is value in starting off trying to day trade. And the reason why I think there's value in that is that you're simply putting in more reps. You are staring at more candlesticks printing. Like I can't tell you how many 1 minute candlesticks I've watched print. It's insane. But I think, for me, at least the way I view price action, it's all fractal. So what happens on a daily candle is the same as a 1 hour, a 4 hour, 5 minute, 1 minute. So if you could put those reps in through day trading and staring at the screen like that in those first couple of years, I think that's really helpful. But I think all styles are dependent on the person. I do a little bit of swing trading. I'm still primarily a day trader and a low time frame day trader at that. But for me, swing trading is good when I see a clear opportunity that just makes sense. Like I'm not actively looking for swing positions in the way that I'm actively looking for day trades. But when one is just jumping out at me, I'll I'll usually take it, put a position on, and try to see it out.
Sure. Okay, now what are your thoughts on Trump, and what do you think market's going to do? Like, what are you seeing maybe for just this current week? I know no one knows, but what are you leaning towards, like, in terms of the indexes, particularly? So Zach does mainly trade the Nasdaq. What are you looking for particularly coming into this week, Zach? Let's just bring up your charts again.
Yeah, it's a good question. Let's go to a higher time frame. I do have some ideas. So I do think we probably can rally from here and at least come out to take out right here, like 21,890. So this wick here on the daily chart, I think that's very feasible. And if we want to zoom off to all-time highs from there, that makes sense. But I think we are in a bit of it's going to be hard to determine a longer time frame bias right here, at least for the week, is what I mean, because I do think that we have levels that we could actually come down here and reach. And it's not just from a technical perspective. You know how when Trump got elected, everything highs, and then a few days later, we started off this daily downtrend, right? Sure. I think that was very, not to say obvious, but it made a lot of sense, because this is the thing. The markets have been pricing in a Trump presidency since last year. And we've been making all-time highs for well over a year. So the smart money has already been building their positions. They're taking profits now. What's that quote? Buy the rumor, sell the news. All the dumb money is buying. They're saying, I'm waiting until Trump gets elected and then I'm going to buy. And it's like, bro, the move's already done. Like, now
it's already done.
And that doesn't mean we're not going to make new all-time highs. I'm sure we are. But we're gonna shake out week longs, and I don't think we're done shaking out week longs yet, personally.
Sure. Okay, so you think maybe a touch back towards that level there before I move higher? Actually, interesting. Just if you can pull this up, I know you're on the daily. That's brilliant. Go to that where Trump won and everything. I think it was on the 5th or 6th of November. Everything rallied, Zach. Yep. And there was someone that actually called the gap fill to the exact day. Obviously, way before it. On Jan 13th, we filled that gap from the Trump rally on the day of when he won the elections. Actually, I think it was on November 6th or so.
Yep. Yeah. Basically right here, November 6th. Oh, no, this is December. What am I saying? Hold on. So it would be all of this price action. November 6th. Yeah, right here. So basically all of this.
Yep.
And we basically filled it.
I'm actually going to take that we are actually taking some. I'm actually going to put this in. If you guys are watching this right now, I also do some live streaming Wednesday through Friday in the Edgeful Discord for pre-market prep. So make sure to come join me there. But I'm actually going to take before we finish up here, I'm going to take a live position. I'm actually going to take it now for you guys I've got a 50K fund account with Hydra Funding, and you can use the discount code using James in the link in my bio, so make sure you go check that out. But I'm actually going to I'm already up, as I said, just under $1,000. I think I'm up just under $1,000. I think I told you, Zach, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm up just under $1,000 on this account, which is quite nice. I'm looking to build I'm probably going to trade this for the next 6 months before looking to take a payout. So I'm going to take some longs here on GJ.
You should go to your screen. You should go to your chart so we can see.
So this is the C-traded charts, as you can see. Here's my 50K account. I'm on $50,613. I'm going to take some longs here on GJ. Let's go. This is the 15-minute time frame. So this is the nice thing about C-Trader. You actually got this fixed risk. Now, this I'm not going to take on any other account. My master account is the account that I've got all the other accounts linked underneath it on my trade copy. But this one, I'm literally just going to take on this account. I'm going to take a fixed risk buy. This is a live 50K account with him. I'm actually going to put my stop underneath this level here at 189. So I want my stop at about 189,300. So let's go like this, 189,300. There we go, 189,300. So about a 200 pip stop, which is pretty chilled. It's pretty big, of course, but I'm looking to swing this. I'm going to see if I can hold this rest of the week, Zach. So let's go to my settings. Let's go to market. Let's go buy. Let's risk $1,000 on it. Okay, so and then let's go like this, $1,000. Boom. Okay, I've just taken my long position on GJ. We'll see what happens going into the rest of the week. So we got those longs. I basically got my trade like this, set up like this. I got my stop loss at the lows there. I'm going to try and target these next, levels up here. And we'll see how this moves. But I got some longs on GJ. Simply being is we've taken out previous day's highs. Okay, today we're bouncing off previous week's lows here. You see how we're kind of like bottoming out as well. We got Zach would kind of like this, is that we actually got this, got that MACD at the bottom. That's actually funny. But we got this kind of like divergence that's been forming, okay, on the RSI compared to price action. So let's see what we do get here. We got this divergence, RSI moving higher, whereas price action's actually making like that. So we got a bit of the divergence. We finally got the break of that 200 EMA. I'm going to look for some longs to the opposite end. Okay, so that's my trade right now for the rest of the week. We do, as mentioned, we'll get more into some markets on ASFX TV throughout the week. I don't want to go too long yet. Like, I want to keep it about 20 minutes or so. But that's my position right now on GJ. Any things? So you think that we could maybe come further down before moving higher on the Nasdaq? So?
Yeah, I guess two scenarios. Either we come up and sweep this level and then drop. I really like this as a target, 20,650. So maybe something like this. We pull up this tool, take out this high. Maybe we put in an SMT divergence between ES and NQ here, and then consolidate and eventually make it here. Or maybe we do this first. Maybe we do all-time highs first. Sure. We sweep it one more time and then consolidate. And if I really see this as a strong target, though, eventually. But again, that's not me calling it top. I trade level to level on an intraday basis. So I like to have a higher time frame narrative, and I like to know where the higher time frame levels are, so I have context. But this doesn't mean that I'm only looking for shorts. Like I'll be happy to take longs back up to all-time highs. But just for fun, this is like an overall higher time frame narrative that I do like.
Sure. Okay, so we got our plays here for the week. Let's see what happens. I appreciate you guys joining us live. Zach, I appreciate your time as always. If you want to watch Zach and I trade live every single day, ASFX TV is the place to be. You can hit the link in our bios. Both of us, Zach's at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'm at the open 9:25 to about 11 p.m. Eastern time. You can check me there. Both of us, or Zach, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Me, mostly Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Awesome, Evan, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday. So, yeah, we'll see you guys then. Appreciate the time as always, Zach. And then let's see what happens. I'm looking forward to that. I love that we have different styles of trading. I think it's so important to actually have different ways of trading. You open yourself up to those different, different. You got to keep your mind open to different. Getting better.
One of the best things about the ASFX community is that we all have a bit of a different style, and it's awesome to see how we all use Edgeful though in different ways, but all the same. The data will help you no matter what style of trading you use. So yeah,
100%. Cheers, everyone. Have a good evening or afternoon for you guys in the States, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.